Welcome to another segment of my Untold Legends Tales series. This time we'll be diving back into the universe of the Predator, the trophy-hunting alien species that loves chasing down powerful prey and stealing their heads as trophies. It's been a little while since I visited a Predator story, and if you'd like to check out some of my previous videos, I've covered the origins of the pirate gun from Predator 2, or I should say the original origins. The Prey movie changed that completely. But yes, I did cover the original story, and the complete secret history of Dutch, the account of his life uncovered in the tapes of the Predator Hunting Grounds video game. Today we'll be experiencing a short story found within the pages of a Dark Horse Comics anthology series, Dark Horse Presents Volume 1, issue number 137, released in November of 1998, the story known as Demon's Gold, a tale of what happens when World War II-era Nazis search for treasure and encounter an otherworldly threat. Before we begin, I do invite you to check out my Patreon page. If you decide to support the channel and become a patron, you'll gain access to its many perks, including early access to YouTube videos. There's also behind-the-scenes posts, sneak peeks, and more. Click the link in the description below for the full details. Predator Demon's Gold. The story begins during the Second World War. Hitler and his Nazis have taken over Germany and plunged the majority of the world into a military conflict, with casualties in the millions. As the war raged on, the German war machine found itself fighting on multiple fronts, an effort that required enormous amounts of funding. Some Nazi commanders took it upon themselves to find hidden secret treasures in order to fund the war. They heard stories of a large hoard of treasure hidden in the mountains of Ecuador, and they burned an entire village down while looking for it. The only survivor, a young boy that the Nazis took with them and forced him to be a guide into the mountains. His mother, father, sisters, grandmother, his whole family was massacred in the village, along with the rest of the villagers. His life would only be spared if he could lead them to the treasure. He knew where it was since the village had kept the secret of its location for generations. The boy led them to a cave deep in the mountains, and the legendary treasure proved to be real. It was known in their culture as the Sweat of the Sun, Tears of the Moon. The Inca civilization hid it centuries before the Nazis arrived, and it had remained untouched by the hands of man since the time of the Spanish conquistadors. The Nazi commander grinned with pleasure. This incredible fortune would surely fund the war for years to come and ensure Germany's victory. The boy couldn't understand the language of these foreign visitors, but he understood their mannerisms well enough to know they were going to kill him. Even after he helped them find what they were looking for, they were bloodthirsty animals. But there was an even more dangerous bloodthirsty animal in the region, a predator. The Yautja hunter was following its prey for some time. The second a Nazi soldier pulled his gun out and aimed at the boy, the predator launched one of its sharp blades deep into his head. In an instant, the Nazi dropped, and the boy looked on in terror, but at the same time, a sort of relief. The creature came out of nowhere, in reality using its stealth technology to remain out of visible sight. While the Nazis panicked, they aimed their guns in all directions, aiming at a killer they couldn't see, and the predator made itself known. It thrust its spear through another one with a deadly force that no human being could survive. When the boy laid his eyes upon the attacker, he interpreted what he was seeing. The demon. A young boy from a World War II-era Ecuadorian village couldn't process the idea of an alien visitor that travels worlds searching for a worthy hunt. Instead, he saw a demon with red glowing eyes, not meant to be seen by the eyes of man. An otherworldly monster that spewed fire from its shoulder that melted through another man. The chaos was sudden and fast. Only moments ago, the boy had a gun to his head, and now his captors were being decimated in the most violent manner. A terrible thing to behold. The predator grabbed one of the few remaining troops and with one hand effortlessly hoisted him in the air, displaying its raw strength. The soldier dropped his gun, and while his throat was being crushed, clawed at the predator's face mask. He ripped it off, and the demon's face was revealed, the last thing he saw before the predator crushed his face into the ground beneath them. The Nazi commander, the leader, was the only one that remained. He fired his gun, but the predator's armor and tough skin protected its vital organs. With a single swipe, it turned around and sent the Nazi commander flying like a weightless doll. It was time for the hunter to collect his trophy. In his final moments, the commander uttered words in his native tongue that the boy didn't understand until years later. The treasure. His head separated from his body, and the demon looked upon his claim with pride. And a strange mechanical voice came from his equipment, repeating the commander's last words. Now the attention of the demon turned to the boy. His bright yellow eyes gazed directly at him. The boy was terrified, believing that this demon was sent by the gods to claim just one more sacrifice. But honorable predators have no interest in defenseless prey. The boy was no threat, and the hunt was over. He had his trophies. With a final glance, it vanished again, disappearing from sight, and returning to whatever underworld it came from. The boy was rescued by this dark savior, and he reflected on his encounter in his old age. But the treasure's location, that was a secret that would fall into the grave. And that is the story of Demon's Gold, the Nazi hunting predator. Let me know in the comments section if you enjoyed this story, and if you'd like me to continue telling more predator tales. If you have any suggestions of your own, you're welcome to let me know. I'll catch you next time.